Hi, everyone. Welcome to our session today. I hope you're enjoying the Trust 23 Data Integrity Summit. I'm excited to be your master of ceremonies here today. My name is Ruslan. I'm a product marketing manager here at Precisely. And our session is titled Context is Key, Empowering Business Users with Spatial Analytics and Enriched Data. I'm thrilled to be joined by our expert panel today. We have joining us Clarence Hempfield, Senior Vice President of Product Management, Location Intelligence, Andy Bell, VP of Product Management Data, and Ashwani Rawat, Director of Product Management and Location Intelligence. Before we dive into the session, I would like to quickly cover some housekeeping items. First of all, the session is being recorded, and we will share the recording with you following the session. We also would love to hear from you, so please feel free to ask your questions during the session. If you would like to get in touch with us, use the demo chat and content buttons in the menu on the left and below the session details. And we'd love to hear from you your feedback on how we can make Trust 23 better. So please use the thumbs up button below to give us your feedback, or you can respond later to a post-event notification. So with that, I'd like to introduce our first speaker, Clarence Hempfield. And Clarence, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Ruslan, and thank you everybody for joining us. Hopefully you've been having a great conference so far. Wanted to talk to you about the role that context plays within data integrity as a whole. For us, it's really critical for our customers to operate with accurate and consistent data, of course, that's fit for use, but that by itself doesn't round out the picture. Context plays an important role to help our customers generate additional insight that they need to operate their businesses efficiently. How we do that is through kind of location intelligence and enrich our data catalog that Andy and his team manages. We bring those sets of capabilities to bear through things like spatial analytics, which will play a significant role in this presentation, geocoding, routing, visualization where the use case requires it, along with data, whether it's geographic, business-centric, or industry-centric. Those capabilities together help generate context, bring insight to our customers, help round out the information that they have within their proprietary data, because more often than not, our customers don't have all of the access to information they need to make good, sound business decisions around how do they improve things such as customer loyalty. Are there additional pockets of customers that they can reach to kind of grow or expand within particular markets? How do they identify sources of risk that exist within their customer base and then minimize that risk ideally? So context helps generate that additional information that our customers can use to generate insights. And so if we go to the next slide, we'll dig into this a bit further, because when you then use spatial analytics with our data enrichment, it enables business leaders to be able to understand questions around not only where their customers presently exist, where their businesses are located in space, what are the surrounding areas, maybe risk associated with those things, to answer a whole series of questions. And what you're seeing on the slide is just a small subset of some of the types of questions we're able to answer for our customers using spatial analytics and data. You know, where are their competitors located in proximity to their key locations? Can they service particular customers within a specified SLA based on where all their customers are located? Can their fleet, particularly in the delivery space, can their fleet actually reach those customers in a timely manner to improve customer satisfaction? And the list goes on and on and on. One of my personal favorites tends to be around quantifying risk, particularly in relation to environmental factors that exist, whether it's wildfire zones, whether it's things such as sinkholes, etc. There are plenty of ways in which our combination of spatial analytics combined with our data catalog are able to surface the answers to those questions that our customers find near and dear. With that, I'm going to turn it to Andy, who will talk to you for a couple of slides.
Thank you very much, Clarence. And as we heard in the opening session with Josh, reference within the LeBeau research that, you know, the importance of context as part of a business analytics. And this is where, you know, you're bringing location intelligence and data enrichment together. And that's because context allows you to drive better business decisions, and you're able to do that across multiple industries. So, you know, we've been doing this for many, many years, and we've got lots of case studies across a whole host of verticals. And just to touch on a number of those. We look at our telecommunications customers. We've traditionally helped them with their network planning, understand where to put their fixed assets, most importantly recently with the rollout of 5G. But having got those assets in the right place, you need to know, well, who can I actually deliver this to? So the idea of serviceability, can I actually plug that property, that household into my capabilities? And that's a really important use case that we're now helping multiple telcos out with that idea of, here are the households I can actually plug into my fiber network or can access 5G. We support the insurance industry, looking at supporting underwriting, actuarial, claims processing. And the important part of this is, one, that insurance company needs to start with a clean, validated address, and then with our location intelligence, be able to locate that with our accurate geocoding, and then being able to enrich that with building footprints, property attributes, a legal parcel, what businesses are co-located there. Is it exposed to wildfire, to flooding risk, to other natural hazards? And then being able to use our spatial software to analyze that, visualize that, and drive decisions and processes within those companies. And one of the key things that we see both across telco and insurance is how many of those businesses are putting context into their everyday work. It's kind of hidden, it's part of the process. It isn't some special offshoot, the GIS business or whatever, and it is core, it's operational and part of the ongoing businesses. But we also look around, our PropTech organizations, so where they're looking at helping customers find both residential and commercial properties, being able to give the context of that property they're looking at. If you're residential, how near is the local school? How good is that local school? What's the neighborhood? What types of people live in those locations? But also being able to understand how they market and develop strategy of where do they want to be able to promote their services and capabilities. And very recently we worked with an organization to help them do that on a global scale, and being able to understand markets on a much broader sense around that. And then if we look at our financial services organizations, being able to help them, like our retailers, understand the location of a branch, but also be able to understand things like insights into mortgages. So what type of property is the mortgage being raised against? What kind of risks are they exposed to? What's the value of that house, and other things that might influence that decision making. But also around investment banking, understanding, well, if we're investing in a business, where are they located? What's the hierarchy? If they have got an international presence, where is that located? Are they exposed in areas of dispute or political unrest? What impact could a major event in another part of the world impact that supply chain and then the performance of those businesses? So lots of really important areas that we help organizations run their businesses. And just to dig into that a little bit further on the next slide is, what a lot of those companies are asking is that where? So, you can look at tables of data, understand financials, but what we're able to bring is something that maybe you don't see on a spreadsheet, that's not in the database. That where, being able to visualize and understand what's going on and the relationships that location bring and how that impacts performance. And they'll be asking where questions like, where are my customers? Where can I find more of them? where should I expand my services? And that could be a retail outlet. It might be an e-commerce looking at where they want to put their warehousing. It might be an insurance company around how do I deploy my assessors in the most effective way, and also understanding where you find your target audience, and you can start to see as things build up, how those data sets can relate to each other. And I think one of the key things that we do as a business is bring together, data sets that might look disparate, a building with wildfire, with a business, but we connect them together. And at the heart of that is the precisely ID, our unique and persistent address ID. And through our geocoding, we're able to locate and apply that precisely ID. And then we're able to allow our customers to access context information, data sets much more effective and much more efficiently, because and reduce the amount of time they're spending on data processing and spending time on understanding insights. And with that, I think, Clarence, I think you're going to talk a little bit more around some specific use cases and capabilities that we have.
Yes, thank you, Andy. And I wanted to build off of something that Andy was talking about a few minutes ago. On the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see what's common in many of our organizations is the reliance on tools like BI and or Excel. They're ubiquitous, and they do a really good job of reporting on information, ideally that's good quality and fit for use, but tend to provide a view using this columnar approach on financial performance most often. Some of them have started to introduce some light visualization, map-based visualization to do things like show you locations of stores or where customers are generally located, but don't go much further than that. Our customers tend to rely on us to do things like what you see on the right-hand side, to again come back to the theme of providing context to the underlying data. So in the two cases, you're seeing examples of these three branches and the relative performance. But on the right, you're getting a sense of branch number one, which on one hand is performing very strong, has fewer competitors in close proximity to it. The other two branches have many more competitors in close proximity to them that are impacting their sales. But yet, branch three is still performing fairly strongly in comparison. So it now can beg other questions you might want to inspect of, why is that store overperforming even though it's in a very competitive environment? Those are questions that traditional tools like BI and Excel can't help our customers answer. It's that additional context that we bring through a combination of spatial analytics and data enrichment to give you that additional information. And then oftentimes, this is also illustrating where there are times when having the result delivered to some technology through an operational process is more than sufficient for the customer need. But there are times when being able to interpret this information visually allows a certain class of employee, whether in a data analyst, data scientist, et cetera, to be able to interpret the information much more clearly, but then ask a different set of questions that ultimately help guide and grow that particular business. So we're going to go to the next slide where I think Andy's going to dig into a couple more examples, particularly within the financial services space.
Yeah, thanks ever so much, Clarence. And, if we focus on, our financial service organizations that we work with, what we really want to highlight is, well, if you haven't got sufficient access to location-based insights, what can happen? What kind of negative impacts could that have? Well, that can look at things like being, struggling to understand and identify your best markets. Where should you be expanding? Where are you wasting time and resources? Where you're not being successful? Without context and without that location capability, you could really be missing that understanding, and that could be having a really detrimental impact on your ability to be successful and deliver on your goals. What context also, if you don't have that context, You can't tailor your products and services. You can't tailor your marketing campaigns. What a customer might need in a suburban high value location is very different to maybe a customer market where it's young, in a city. Very different things. And if you don't understand that, how can you make sure that you are providing them relevant services, but also relevant messaging to be able to attract those people into your service or to interact with you? It also will mean that you don't understand what your competitors are doing. What's their strategy? Where are they? Where are they not? And how's that impacting your performance? And ultimately, you may be going where you are entering risky new locations. You haven't got an understanding. You haven't got the infrastructure there. You haven't understood the competitive landscape. And those things compound to be able to really not allow you to be effective and get the success you need. So really going back again, and I'll go back to the LeBeau survey, is the importance of context is critical for many businesses. And if you're not using it, you're missing an understanding of how your business is operating within the markets. And with that, we can then start to think about, as you look at an organization and the different functions within those organizations, how does context help those? And if we just move on to the next slide, you look at our marketing, being able to understand customer segmentation, understand tailoring your marketing campaigns, the message. That message can change by location. That's really important, and that's how they can do it. You look at your business analysts, they're trying to understand how they choose different sites. And that's not just, again, a retail location or a branch location. It might be an ATM, it might be a warehouse, it might be how are you delivering a particular service to an area, and how's that going to interact with competitors. It might be your real estate department. If you've got physical assets, being able to understand the accurate valuation. Are you paying the right rent? Do you understand the market that you are located within, and what feasibility studies do you need to drive? And then ultimately, you've got the financial analysts. They want to understand: are we making a profit? Are we driving growth? Context helps them understand the where. In terms of when you're understanding financial performance. So lots and lots of areas that our customers can exploit context within the business, and being able to bring in that capability and understanding. And really, to bring that alive, what I want to do now is hand over to Ashwani, who's going to demonstrate some new capabilities we have with a product called Map Reveal. So over to you, Ashwani.
Hi. During this demo, I'll be showing you some of the key features and functionalities of our product, how it can simplify your task and save you time and ultimately enhance your overall experience with spatial data. As you would notice that Map Reveal can be accessed by a browser, which completely eliminates the need of a thick client to run your geospatial operations. It is a web-based GIS application that enables users to create beautiful maps using their own spatial data set and publishing them for a wider consumption. People who are familiar with MapInfo Pro are also familiar with workspaces. Similarly, map sessions exist within the Map Reveal ecosystem. However, map session can be shared and used for internal team collaboration, unlike desktop GIS projects. So when you create a map session, certain metadata is also captured, like the date of creation, how many layers it has, if it has been published or not. This map session contains the stack of the layers and their styling. It can be shared with other users within the organization, or it can also be duplicated to run a different simulation. I'll go inside the map session and see some of its functionality. It allows you to add the data and it allows you to style the data. There are several styling options available like fixed styling, categorize, graduated, and heat map. One can set the zoom range also. The zoom range is extremely helpful in rendering the large data onto a web map. It has symbology provided for each of the features as well. Once the stacking of the layer is done and the styling is also done, one can run the vector processing tools. So there is a host of vector processing tools which are provided in the map reveal. So after the styling is done, one can publish these maps to share with the wider audience. So there is a publish module which allows you to publish the map and also gives you certain options to customize your published map. It has a couple of layouts and it also generates a couple of APIs as well. One of the API is the WebMap API. So if I copy this WebMap API and share with other users within my organization or outside, then they can use it as a URL to open the map session that I created. This particular API is extremely helpful in integrating the web map with third-party applications like CRM or business intelligence solutions such as Power BI. There's another API called Layer Data Access API, which provide access to the data which is underneath these layers which are used in the map session. And there is a embed iframe which is generated to embed this particular web map which is created in the map session in any online application. Another aspect of map reveal is the data. So the data module provides users to upload their data. So we support various vector file format like shapefile, KML, KMZ, GeoJSON, and JSON. And apart from that, we have also extended our support for MRR format, NativeX, and native format of MapInfo Pro. Now there is another module within the data module, which is data library. It is essentially a spatial data drive where we provide the curated data sets to our users. Users can preview any of the data and they can also add these data sets into any of the map sessions. So they can load these layers into any of the map session and enhance their analysis. Now, Map Reveal also provides users the functionality to collect data using the mobile app. The mobile app is available on Play Stores, and the admin of the portal can design the form and assign it to a particular user on the ground. There are various widgets available to create the forms of your choice and then publish them and assign them to a user on ground. There is a role-based access system available within Map Reveal where different functionalities can be provided to different users within the organization. Once the data is collected from the ground, it can be utilized into a map session to enhance the analysis. So for example, I can go to add data and I can go to a collected data tab where I can see all the forms in which the data has been collected and can add any of this form to my analysis and create a map. With this, I'll end this demo. Should you require any information or if you want to try hands-on, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. I thank you and looking forward.
Thank you very much, Ashwini. And just before I jump into this final slide, I did want to say that don't forget, if you have questions for any of us, feel free to put them in the Q&A session, and we'll get to those as we get to the Q&A section right after this. So as we wrap up this presentation, I wanted to end with how do we bring both our technology and our data catalog together to deliver context for our customers. For us, as this is a general architecture to try to illustrate how our technology and data fits within our clients' environments. From us, it doesn't matter where our customer data sits in CRM, billing, any system that they have, whether it's third-party or homegrown databases, we're agnostic to all those sources. We can pull the data from any of those sources. As Andy talked about, often one of the first steps for us is to run our geoaddressing technology to verify and standardize addresses, to assign hyper accurate locations to our customers' locations. And then most importantly, we assign this Precisely ID, which is a unique identifier that's persistent, to our customers' records. So this ID gets assigned to your records. One of the ways in which we use the Precisely ID is then to simplify the joins that we would do with the data catalog that we have, the over 9,000 attributes and 400 data sets that we have that are also pre-appended with the Precisely ID to, again, make those joins simpler, to reduce the need of spatial technology to combine, in many cases, spatial data sets together with your proprietary data, to start giving you greater access to the context that our data catalog can provide. And this ranges from more standard data sets like boundaries, points of interest, et cetera, to the much more dynamic data sets that are becoming really popular with our customers, data that's movement and time and space, particularly around weather, to be able to assess the impact that weather can have on your business and your decision-making process. Last but not least is our spatial analytics capabilities that ranges from desktop through to cloud and server solutions, very much like what Ashwani was just demonstrating with Map Reveal, where here we're looking at, on one hand, helping our customers generate brand new insights, combining their data with our spatial content to help them generate new insights that they can use, querying and aggregating data, whether it's business or spatial data, to be used in a wide variety of ways that they need to surface the information, again, through back office processes or through applications like Map Reveal that allows people to interact with the information spatially, and then ultimately exposing those insights in the ways in which our customers need to use it. Historically, through technologies like Spectrum Spatial, which were often used in the more operational processes, to Map Reveal, which is much more used by a data analyst who needs to build and interpret information on the fly, through to things like our APIs, which is a consumption model of both the software and data together to feed things like enterprise applications, the analytic tools that our customers might use either on-premise or the new cloud data warehousing technologies tied to business dashboards. Any third-party or homegrown solution that our customers need our technology and data running in, we can deliver those capabilities to it. So for us, it's really important to be hyper-focused on what is the type of insight the customer is trying to generate, and who are the individuals, whether they're more IT or technology-centric folks to business or data analysts who need to interact with the information, and then having our technology that they use be the linking mechanism to deliver those insights most efficiently to the customer. And sometimes it takes the form of delivering it through applications in very tight SLA windows, or in other cases, people who need to interact with it more directly. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to Ruslan, who will wrap us up and take us to the Q&A session.